Hey YouTube, welcome back to Part-Time Fab. Today we are going to begin the build of our welding cart for our Lincoln Power MIG 210 MP. And that build is going to take a couple of days. I've got a bunch of things coming up, so it's going to take me a few days to get that project finished, but I've got most of the materials. I got the majority of the materials. I still got to go find some wheels. I do have the static wheels in the back, but I don't have the casters for the front. But I do intend on going and picking some of those up. And so I've got that design already laid out, and I've got it drawn up in SketchUp. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but I'll try to get you a larger picture of it so you can see that layout. But basically what I did, I took the general design of a generic welding cart, and I've seen many pictures of welding carts online, so I took that general concept and just adapted it a little bit. I made it a little bit taller than my old cart, made a little taller, and I did that for two reasons. I want to put the welder on top, which is going to be pretty tall for a typical cart. It's going to be pretty tall. This cart overall is going to be 3 foot 6 inches to the most highest point, but the shelf is going to be at 3 feet. So the bottom of the welder will be 3 feet, and then underneath that there's another shelf. That shelf will not be occupied right now, but I do plan on in the future having a plasma cutter. So I wanted to make enough room on this cart to accommodate a plasma cutter. Then there's going to be a main bottom shelf that people typically use for storage. My cart, I'm probably going to use it for some storage for a while, but I'm making my cart big enough that at some point, I don't know, I really don't have any really need to have a water cooler, but I thought it would be really great to have enough room to put a water cooler on the bottom of this if one ever came my way and it was very reasonably priced. I could pick up the water cooler and hang on to it, and then I could get a water-cooled torch. The little bit of practicing that I've been doing with my TIG, this torch gets incredibly hot. So that I've noticed a lot of people talking about water-cooled torches, this water-cooled torch, that. It's much better. So sometime in the future, maybe, you never know. You never know when tools might come your way at discount prices. So that's I'm just trying to future-proof my design a little bit. Also, one other design feature that I have incorporated in, and I'll show you that in just a second. Let's cut and I'll bring you back. So another design feature that I have incorporated into my cart, the top shelf, well, all the shelves really, they're particularly wide. So on the top plate, the welder will be all the way over to one side, and I plan on cutting holes into the top shelf to fit these rod containers in. I'm sure you've seen these before, but if you haven't, these containers holds filler metal, and this happens to be 1/16 ER70S2, which is what I've been practicing with because that's what I intend on welding my cage with. These are about, I think I gave 15 and some change for this, or 16 and some change. I'm going to get a couple of more for a different size rod, and I've got some silicon bronze that I need to put in one of these, and I think I have accommodated for six holes in the top of the cart to put these containers in. So I guess that's really the, oh, one other feature. Since you know my welder is a MIG and TIG, and they require different gas types, that was another reason to make the cart wide, because the cart will hold 2 cylinder bottles. I'll have a place to have the argon or argon helium mix, and then I'll have another place to put the C25 mix. And I won't have to switch out tanks or anything like that. This cart will be incredibly heavy because of that, but it'll be a great feature to have, so I'm not switching tanks all the time, because I can really see in that become a pain when you're switching from process to process, if it takes forever to do it, because you got to get your bottle, switch it out, fix the regulator, do all that stuff, or flow meter. And that was something I really wanted to incorporate into this design. So that's kind of what I've done. And again, I drew this in SketchUp, so I have all the dimensions that I need. And I went to the steel yard, and I have a 24-foot. I chose 1.5 inch tubing. It's 11 gauge. It's a little heavy duty, but you know, it was $54, I think, out the door, and reasonably priced. And that's what I just chose to go with. I could have went with 14 gauge, but I thought the 11 gauge would be just a little bit stronger. Never know. But that's kind of the plan for this video. If you're interested in watching that, hang tight and we'll get to that build in just a minute. But before we move on, I would like to invite you to go and watch some of my other videos. I don't make these videos as kind of just one-offs, you know. This is an entire series just to kind of share my experiences through trying to get back on the track. So I got a bunch of other videos, and I have a lot of videos left to record, and as you know, those videos will branch off into other videos. So there's a lot of videos left to come. So if you want to see that, if you want to hang with me and go on this journey, hit that big subscribe button down there. That'll let me know that you're interested. Also, you could leave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you think this video is really good or it really sucks. But maybe I'll put over here a place for you to click and go pause and go watch some other videos. But let's get to our cart build. Hang tight, we'll get to it. So the first thing you'll see I'm doing is breaking down all the tubing into smaller, more manageable pieces. I didn't break them down into the full small piece, but I did break them down quite significantly. Now, as you can see here, I'm labeling each piece with the letter in which the piece will be on the drawing. Also, I'm adding the measurement in which the pieces will be broken down to. Always remember, measure twice and cut once. That'll save you a lot of material. The next thing I'll be doing is doing a lot of bandsawing. This is a huge step and will take a really long time. As you can see here, most of the pieces had to be cut on both ends, and we ended up with A through F. Now we're going to grind each one of these pieces, and we're going to get the ends cleaned up, and most of the pieces will get a little bevel on the end to allow for better weld penetration once we weld the cart together. The next thing you'll see me doing is we've got to cut the bottom piece. We're going to cut those at 90 degrees to make a nice butted up fit for the bottom of this. And as you can see, I've already got one of them cut there, and just getting some more of the pieces cleaned up and ready to be welded. So you can see here we've cleaned the pieces up. We've got the nice 90-degree cuts finished. That took a really long time, but it was well worth it. In the end, that will make the cart look a lot better, a lot more visually appealing. Probably not a big functional thing, but definitely the cart will be more visually appealing. We'll get a few tack welds laid here, and we're making sure that everything is flat to the table and square. Now you'll notice here I'm cleaning the rust off a piece of solid bar. My plan for this solid bar is I'm going to cut little 1 inch to 1.5 inch tabs or ends to weld to the side of the cart. This is going to give me a place to make hangers to hang the torch lead, the grounding clamp, basically to hang all my cables off of. So as you can see here, we're going through a little welding. All the tacks have been made, and we're welding up all the little corners. This really took a long time. Had to let the welder cool, and well, the metal, I didn't want to get the metal too hot either, because you don't want to distort your metal, because if you get it too hot, it could bend or warp on you. And so this was a tedious process to just weld a little bit, let it cool a little bit, weld a little bit, and let it cool a little bit. So the next step I did was I started to get the upright posts put in place. This was a time-consuming task to make sure everything was straight as it could be, and in the end I still got one of the posts just a little bit off. It's going to lean forward just a little bit. I believe I took my angle finder, and it was just like 2 degrees down, which, you know, that's not a whole lot, but it really should be okay. And if it's a big problem, I think I will just shim the front wheels a little bit, because as you'll see later, the plates that the wheels bolt to, there's plenty of room there for me to stick a couple of pieces of metal between the wheelbase and the base of the cart to just elevate the front just ever so slightly to make it level, or at least as near level as I can get. So as you can see here, this is going to be the first shelf from the bottom. This too was quite tedious to get everything lined up properly and tack welded in. The TIG process does not really lend itself to tack welding when you don't have another person or something really good to hold the metal. It's very tough, and the magnet helps, but sometimes it actually doesn't help you that much, because if something's not exactly perfect, it does make it a little bit more difficult to get it positioned properly, because the magnet may want to pull it slightly. So as you can see here, I'm just testing I guess the plumbness, even though I've got it laying on its back. And right here, I think everything is tacked in place, and I'm just making sure everything is fairly level, and I believe it was about as level as I was going to get. So I'm going to start welding things up. So as you can see here are those little tabs I was telling you about, and I have saved you the agony of watching me drill those holes. Those will be welded to the side of one side and one side only of the cart, and that'll be where I make another thing to hang the cables from. Now as you can see here, I'm going to clean a piece of plate, and we're going to cut little 3 by 4 inch squares or coupons and get those cleaned off and cut, and those will be the pads that the casters will sit on. Now the next thing I started working on while the bandsaw was working on the caster pads, what I'm going to use these for, these are going to cap the ends of the first and second shelf, because it just looks a whole lot better when you have those square tubes capped off and not just a big open hole there. It's a lot more visually appealing, or a lot better looking when you've got those capped off. Even it takes a whole lot of time, it's well worth it. So as you can see here, we're just going to use the magnet and hold those tabs flush to the top, and we got some tack welds, and now we're going to get them welded in. One thing of note about TIG welding with a magnet holding something for you, it's odd, but the arc will tend to wander towards the magnet. It will really pull that arc over towards it, and it'll also, as you were just seeing how close I was to the magnet, it'll pull your filler metal over there as well. So as you can see here, the next thing, we've got our coupons cut out, and I'm just using the caster as a pattern to mark and punch a few holes for the bolts that we intend to drill out and tap. So I don't want to run too long with this video. I like keeping them around 15 to 20 minutes, and there is a lot of video footage left on this build, so I'm going to break this video up into a series of 2, maybe even 3 videos long. So I guess with that, I'd like to invite you to go over and check out some more of my videos. Always remember, give me a thumbs up if you thought the video was good, or give me a thumbs down if you thought it sucked. If your feelings are more complicated than that, leave me a comment below. Hit that big subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on Part Time Fab. Thanks for watching.